Welcome back to Talkville, folks. We got Tom Welling, we got Ryan Teaz, we got Bryce behind the scenes. Thanks for joining us. This is a special day. Want to know why?
Why?
Because you're all here.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
I thought I missed something.
Tom rolled his eyes.
Thank you, Michael.
We want to thank you for watching our show. I didn't sleep well last night, and I woke up and I got a massage because my freaking neck was bothering me. So I got a massage, and after you get a massage, you need like 2 hours to wake up. And I'm sort of like, hey, bedroom voice, all that. Tom's got a new background. He's in his guest room, so he hasn't decorated it obviously yet.
Yeah, we have twice the amount of internet speed somehow, so I think that's going to be good for Bryce and for all
I
of
think
us.
you should just put a nice big Smallville picture or something right there, and you're
Just
done.
like
That's
right
all
there.
you need. Guys, we appreciate you, all the patrons out there who support this podcast, patreon.com/talkville. It is amazing how many of you support this show, and we couldn't do it without you. So thanks for joining Patreon. If you want to join Patreon and support the show, awesome. There's also a grand tier. In fact, Bryce was just telling me that Mike Posters, who does the posters for us, for the grand tiers, they're getting a special poster signed. So,
Oh, sweet.
yeah, we're getting that. And then, Tom, you and I have to do another Zoom with the grand tiers for an episode coming up. So we'll work that out. And a lot of cons coming up. Ontario, California. Look on my Instagram at the Michael Rosenbaum on my link tree. You'll see all that stuff. Cameo. Going to Cincinnati, Cleveland, Chicago. We got Cruiseville.com, Tom. Honestly, are you excited about the cruise?
I'm excited. I've never been on a cruise before. I've been on boats before, but apparently all the internal cabins, the ones that don't have any views, are all sold out already.
Yeah.
So
it's exciting, and there's excursions. You could sign up to do excursions with me and Tom, or me or Tom, or I think there's going to be a karaoke night. Make sure you go to Smallville Nights. That's I think that's going to be at the beginning of the schedule. We're doing Smallville Nights with prizes, and it's a special treat if you haven't been to Smallville Nights. I know a lot of patrons are going, so hey, get the family together. Go on the cruise. We'll see you there. And go to cruiseville.com and get your excursions on as soon as possible, because some have already sold out. Apparently, I sold out of one already.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, at least JP said that. Maybe he's lying to me. I don't know.
The body surfing?
I've never... Naked body surfing? Yeah, and I'm going to shave my entire body, my head, everything. I'm just going to... It's more aerodynamic.
You look like Austin Butler in Dune 2.
Austin. Did he look good?
He was completely shaven. He's just a
Well, wasn't that
sperm of a man.
Wasn't that like Nicholas Hoult in the first one?
Mad Max, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, same concept. Same thing.
Yeah. Also, on the Inside of You online store and the Talkville podcast store, tons of great merch. In the Inside of You online store, we've got a lunchbox signed by me and Tom, Smallville lunchbox, ship keys, and what else do we have? Tumblers and Funkos and just so much stuff. Go on the Inside of You online store and Talkville podcast. If you didn't get a chance to call in for a hotline, leave a question for the episode. Make sure you do it on future ones. Yeah, what else was I going to say? I think that's it. Without further ado, let's get into it. This is season 6. We're into episode 12, Labyrinth. Title Labyrinth aired January 25th, 2007. Director Whitney Rancic. I got to tell you, Whitney crushed it. This episode, writers Al Septian and Turi Meyer, I love those guys. Guest star Phil Morris as Martian Manhunter, Matthew Walker as Dr. Hudson. Synopsis: when Clark's entire super adolescence gets called into question, it forces him to decide whether or not he wants to accept this cuckoo happily ever after or fight his way back into reality to protect the world. Now, just to say this from the top, the look of this show, from the DP and the gaffers who lit the thing, and the DP, the makeup, everything was top notch. Tom, I don't remember this episode. I never saw it, so it was fresh to me, obviously. But I thought you were freaking excellent in this episode. I'm not even kidding. Your performance in this episode, I'm not shitting you. I think it's the best performance I've seen you do. Oh. It was so strong and subtle and dynamic. it was movie star. Like, you looked great. Your instincts are great. I was really like almost watching you like a hawk to see, making sure it's like he's gonna do something Thomas, or he's gonna see, and you were just in the zone. I can't express like how great I thought you were in this episode.
Thanks. I appreciate that, because I was really terrified to do this kind of episode, and I took a lot of time with the scenes really getting the beats down, because we don't shoot in order. What he knows, what he doesn't know, what he's going after.
Yeah.
And it's I just remember this episode. I don't know if it took a long time, but it felt like this episode took forever, probably because of the mental state that I was in. But man, did it take forever in my head.
An episode of Smallville has never looked like this before. It looked like this was taken out of a movie. Like, I feel like if James Gunn saw this episode and he was directing Superman at that time or that following summer, if he just turned into this episode, he would have been like, he's my Clark. That's it. No question about it. It was just phenomenal. Your performance was phenomenal. Thank you, man. It was top notch.
Because there's a way to play like, wait, I'm the only one going insane. Everyone is telling me that I'm insane. There's a way to over crazy that, and I don't think you did.
No, it was subtle.
You didn't cage it. You didn't Nicolas Cage it. You were just like, you were in the pocket.
Yeah, dude. You were in the pocket. You never left the pocket. You just stayed.
One of my favorite things about this episode is you get to see Clark with no powers.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking really hard about that. Like, he wasn't like, he couldn't hit somebody hard and then he gave up.
He was vulnerable.
So you see the spine, you see the character of Clark, I think, even more through this. Anyway.
Yeah. Clark Kent is carrying on his father's legacy of late nights on the farm. And all of a sudden, Shelby starts losing her shiznit. Before Clark realizes what's happening, he gets speared off the second floor of the barn and knocked down to the floor below. And when he wakes up, Clark finds himself in the middle of circle time at a mental hospital. Seems like his entire experience of having powers in Smallville has been fabricated in some sort of fantasy world. And worse, he's traded his blue and red attire for an all-white wardrobe.
Also, very believable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I believed it. I was like, this could be.
Yeah. Yeah, it was dope.
After seeing all the fun that his counterpart Lex Luthor had in the loony bin, Clark starts to panic while being locked up. He gets a visit from Dr. Hudson, who tries to explain his schizophrenic break and the years of coping Clark has done to deal with his trauma. Clark gets told that his entire life for the last 5 years has been fabricated as some sort of sick, twisted delusion.
This guy was really, really great.
He was great.
It was such a good thing, because I remember saying to him, I'm not really sure what I'm going to be doing. He goes, you can do whatever you want. Like, he was so confident as an actor.
He made you comfortable.
Yeah, and he was just with me. It was great.
He was
and comes
so
through.
good.
He was so rational. You're like, wait, yeah, maybe he's right.
He just felt like it felt like film acting.
Uh-huh.
It didn't feel like TV. While Clark is still trying to figure out what the F is going on, he gets delusional reassurance while waiting in the medication line from John Jones. No, not that one. Right before he gets sedated, Jones tells Clark that he's from Mars, so he believes his Kryptonian cuckoo story. And later we see Clark take the opportunity to sucker punch an innocent janitor so he can use his wardrobe to make a break for it. He arrives home and finds his ex, Lana. But for the first time in a while, she's not pissed or irritated with him. She's ecstatic. Clark learns that the girl next door moved into his barn, but after she begins recounting their past, Clark picks up on the inconsistencies that don't add up. It was cool, man. She was weird. It was like a weird thing. I was like, whoa, is she good? Is she bad? She played it really cool. I was just like, I don't know what's going on here.
Actually, and in watching it and all the performances, like in real time was like, wow, everyone has grown as an actor and everyone is doing really, like, I actually like stopped to think about the evolution that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like, everyone was really good.
Yeah. I felt that way too. Lana starts to get worried after Clark goes off the rails talking about his escape, accusing her of being in cahoots with Lex to lock him up.
After getting tipped off to his mother's whereabouts, Clark heads to Luthor Mansion to find his worst nightmare.
Oh.
Martha Kent booed up with Lionel Luthor, a.k.a. his mother married and shacking up with his dead father's sworn enemy.
She likes the long locks.
By the way, how perfect did Annette play this?
So
she
good.
didn't play, just perfect.
Yeah, she always does.
Martha gets freaked out as well and calls security on her own son. Luckily, Luther's security is worthless, so Clark is able to make his escape into the woods to meet his getaway driver, Chloe Sullivan.
Who happens just to be there at that exact moment in the woods in her car. That was a little weird, but anyway.
While Clark has been making other people feel freaked out this entire episode, Chloe's paranoia about the Luthers makes Clark feel like the sane one. With his inability to super speed, Clark uses Chloe's Yaris to drive into Metropolis and visit Lex.
I thought that would be a t-shirt. You can take my Yaris.
Lex sips his scotch and gives Clark the bitter truth about who ruined his life. He tells Clark what really happened during the car crash on the bridge as he rolls away from his desk and completes his final transformation into Professor X by donning a wheelchair. I didn't remember that, and I was like, whoa, what's... And then it kind of came back to me, and I did remember a little bit of it, and I just remember asking the director, I was like, this looks real. I look like I'm not moving. This is good. I just want to make sure, I remember saying that.
Where were your legs?
They were there. They just...
You fold them?
No, they green screened them out.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, they green screened them out. That's what I remember. I'm pretty sure. I love it when it's like I screamed at you and spit came out of my mouth. That was cool. I milked it.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, it was emotional. It was like, oh my God,
Open your eyes, you crazy son of a bitch.
Open your eyes, you son of a bitch. Look what you did to me.
The other thing I like about this scene is this is one of the few scenes between Clark and Lex where Lex is, right from the beginning, he's just like, oh, really? It's all truth from Lex.
Yeah, why are you here? You already ruined my life. What are you talking about?
There's no distraction. There's no changing the subject. It's, oh, really? Check this out. And I wish I would have killed you.
Yeah, you bastard. The meteor shower took away his luscious red locks, and Clark Kent took away his ability to walk. Lex wants Clark dead. With his entire world flipped on its head, Clark heads to the Talon, shocked to see that the movie theater still hasn't been renovated. Lana, having a severe case of hybristophilia, tries to reason with Clark and get him back to the farm. This all becomes too much for Clark to handle, so he seeks refuge with Chloe, who we then learn was also a fellow inmate at the Fairview Mental Hospital. And Chloe attempts to leave the Talon, but she is greeted by 2 Luther security guards at the door. So she decides to shoot her way out of it. She grabs her coat, grabs her gat, but before she can get busting, she takes a bullet.
Got real.
Yeah, and I like that, it was weird that you didn't get too emotional. You were like, Chloe, you're so confused and everything's like so weird in this episode that, you were just more, you didn't go there.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, you don't know whether to believe what is going on. This isn't real. This can't be real. So I like that. Again, it was good direction.
Clark's joyride back in the real world ends, and we see him back at Fairview having an open conversation with Dr. Hudson while in a straight jacket. Clark begins to question whether or not his mind is playing tricks on him. That's a reference. As we see Soap named Jor-El, the loudspeaker calling for a Dr. Fine, a book called The Fortress of Solitude, and a placard for Employee of the Month, Oliver Queen.
Not to mention AC and all the other people there.
The nurse named Raya.
Yeah, it was just all like, whoa. Yeah. Now I'm starting to think, okay, we're in Phantom Zone world here.
Yeah. We're in the subconscious. The virus has gotten into the subconscious trying to give Clark what it thinks he wants in order for the virus to get what it wants.
Yeah.
Later that day, Clark is seemingly accepting his psychotic reality. His neighbor, John Jones, tries reassuring him that he is not crazy and that he has been trapped here after being attacked in the barn by a Zooner. Jones tells Clark that if he undergoes treatment, then he will be lost forever, and the only way to escape this trap, thus preventing the Zoners from taking over, is to kill Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
Oof.
We're trying to make you better, Clark. This fantasy of yours, it's schizophrenia. We're going to make things right. After the orderlies taunt and assault Jones, they politely escort Clark to his treatment room where Lana Lang welcomes him with open arms. If everything else already wasn't adding up, then Lana's joyful acceptance is the straw that broke the camel's back here. She tries telling him that If this is a false reality, it's still better than his real reality. And after getting the psycho girl's verbal love letter, Clark heads into the lobotomy room.
Whoa. As the drill comes mere inches away from his skull, Clark hears Shelby barking and has a sudden realization. He doesn't want to be a teenage lobotomy. He gets up and starts whooping ass, taking out the orderlies and then strangling the life out of Dr. Hudson, thus revealing the Phantom Zoner behind the whole ruse.
You know, I was noticing that stunt guy, one of those stunt guys, we always see him. It's like the third time I've noticed. I go, I remember that guy.
Which guy?
He's one of the orderlies, the big guys who carries.
Yeah, he's one of the few guys bigger than I am.
Yeah, he's big. He's got a long face. He's just kind of looks. He doesn't say much. When Clark snaps back to life, back to reality, we see John Jones, the Martian Manhunter, standing over him in the barn and capturing the Zoner. Before he can speak to him anymore, Chloe shows up in the barn without a bullet in her chest. I really liked Phil Morris as John Jones, the Martian Manhunter. He was great. His voice, his stature, he was great.
Well, when we get to interesting things of note, I'll mention just a couple things about Phil and what a great thing that was with him.
Clark and Chloe reconvene inside. He's shocked that so little time has actually passed and that he nearly gave up everything to have a fake happily ever after with Lana. Despite him realizing that his love for Lana has put the world into jeopardy, he claims to have feelings for her. Still feelings. It's still going on. You're still crushing the girl's heart. You just like it's on the floor and you're just stomping it, dude. Stomping on Lana's heart. Stomp, stomp. Leave the girl alone. Even if you love her or if it's jealousy, or just keep it to yourself, son. I don't know.
Their convo ends with Clark thanking Chloe for always believing in him and having his back. Again, more heart stomping. Can't do that to her. The next day, Clark heads into the town and bumps into Lana. Things are back to normal because she seems slightly annoyed to have to talk to her ex. Clark talks about his dream about their fantasy gumball engagement ring. Their convo gets interrupted by her actual engaged fiancé, Lex. They leave to plan their wedding as Clark admires her walking out the door, and she does the same.
The only thing I didn't like about this is Clark's been in a dream state. The audience didn't get a chance to see this dream he's talking about. And so it almost seems like a little forced fake for the hearts to break, if that's a thing. Because did he have this dream, or is he just trying to find a way to say to Lana, I've always loved
it's
you.
your subconscious. It's like, having a dream and then it makes you think about things and you wonder if that dream is actually, because dreams mean so much, they tell us. Dreams mean a lot into what you're thinking, what your subconscious is. And so maybe having those feelings, that's what he got from this. And
I think there could have been a moment when the lobotomy drill was moving in, if there's a quick flash of a little kid giving a little girl, you know what I mean?
That would have been great.
And then cut back to Lana's eyes changing.
That's a great call. That would have been a really cool, it was like this, watch this. Zzz, and the music effect transitions. And you just see him going like this, a little almost fast forward in his mind, like the speed of the film, you're going a little faster, and then and then it goes right back out.
Well, then when he talks to her on the Talon, that means so much more.
Yeah, I agree.
But you can't,
because he was recounting like a fake memory that Lana told him in this fugue state, right? But we never saw it, but he's just recounting so like there was no, he's not confirming that, he's just saying, like,
he's just saying, I had this dream.
Yeah.
And I gave you this ring. It's like, oh, great. I don't remember that. So that never happened, but you dreamt that. Because people dream stuff like that all the time, and we try to decipher what that means. You could have a dream and like, we were at this banquet and you kept grabbing my drink from me. I don't know what that means.
Well, but I was late for my algebra test.
Yeah. Closing thoughts. So the Martian Manhunter is basically cleaning up Clark's mess with the Zoners, not only saving his life twice, but also eradicating the Zoners from the planet. And it's crazy that Clark still has such strong feelings for Lana after all this. But I don't think it's that strange. I don't know. Interesting things of note. Clark's fellow patient is Martian Manhunter, a DC comic superhero. In Clark's delusion, the Martian Manhunter is shown to be afraid of the guard's lighter flame. The lighter flame. In the comics, fire is one of his weaknesses. Chloe suggests to Clark about a girl in the parallel universe who is editor-in-chief of the Daily Planet and a Pulitzer Prize winner. Lois Lane fits the bill to both these categories.
From what I understand, this is what I talked about in a previous podcast, that I had no idea who Martian Manhunter was. So, and Clark doesn't either.
Right.
And what I loved about working with Phil Morris is he took very much an approach of martial arts as being a sensei to Clark. And him and I talked about that a lot because he's big into martial arts and I had some experience, but not quite like his. And that really comes across as him being a sensei for Clark. And we're going to learn more about that in future episodes. But it's Martian Manhunter, Superman, and I want to say Shazam are all equally powerful. I might be wrong with Shazam, but it's somebody else.
Yeah.
And so Martian Men, they're on equal levels. The other things I'll tell you is when the security guards were chasing Clark in the snow, that was shot outside of, what did we call in this episode?
Labyrinth.
The insane asylum. Well, the same building is that's the same building that we use as Belle Reve. And I remember going outside in 2:00 in the morning, we're like, we're going to have you run from here to here and these guys are going to shoot. So that's just an interesting thing possibly for the fans.
That's cool.
And then it was interesting to me that if this thing is getting into Clark's subconscious, no one helps him but one person, and that's Chloe.
This episode is very similar
cool.
to Buffy the Vampire Slayer episode Normal Again, in which Buffy Summers, that was her name, Buffy Summers. Why? It should have been like Buffy
Winters.
Buffy
Granville.
This better be better.
Buffy Sanders. No, it should have been something else. Buffy Summers. Think it's anything. I can't think right now, but it's like Buffy Biviano. I knew a girl in high school named Buffy Biviano. She was pretty too. I went out with her when I was like in 6th grade, and then she dumped me the same night and made out with Grant Fithian in the garage. Anyway, Buffy was drugged into believing that she was in a mental institution for dreaming up her life as the Slayer. The name of the Fairview Psychiatric Hospital in the episode is likely inspired by the Fairview neighborhood of Vancouver's West Side, where the Vancouver General Hospital is. This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I'll tell you what, BetterHelp has helped so many people, so many friends. Ryan here works with BetterHelp, and it has changed his life in many ways and mine. What's great about this is it's online, folks. Therapy online, it's so much cheaper than going in person or offline therapy. This has really changed a lot of lives.
Also, how about the time you save driving to the therapist and driving home?
Oh my gosh. And if you want to change a therapist, Tom, you just change a therapist. You don't have to worry about saying, oh, I'm not going to be using you anymore. You just go to the next one. It makes it very easy because I think people have a lot of thoughts of, oh, this is going to be uncomfortable. I don't know. I really hope people give it a shot. And look, let's talk numbers. Traditional in-person therapy can cost anywhere from $100 to $250 a session, which adds up really fast. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save on average up to 50% per session. It's pretty incredible. And with BetterHelp, you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions, saving you big on cost and on time.
Therapy should feel accessible, not like a luxury. With online therapy, you get quality care at a price that makes sense and can help you with anything from anxiety to everyday stress. Your mental health is worth it, and now it's within reach. Therapy from BetterHelp is helpful for learning positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself.
With over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient too. You can join a session with a click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. Plus, switch therapist at any time. Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/talkville to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/talkville. Talkville is brought to you by NHTSA. We all know about the speed of sound, but have you ever thought about the sounds of speeding? If you drive over the speed limit, there are a lot of sounds that you might hear. You can hear the sound of your vehicle crashing, the sound of first responders desperately trying to save you. You could even hear the sound of people crying at a funeral. Because if you drive over the speed limit, you could do damage that's beyond repair. One way or another, speeding catches up with you. Paid for by NHTSA. And now it's time for the hotline. Let's go to the hotline. You guys ready for the hotline? For some reason, I'm really ready for the hotline today. I don't even know why. But our first is a patron privilege, and this is Amerigo.
Hey guys, it's patron Amerigo Garcia from Edinburgh, Texas, with a video about Labyrinth. I don't think Lex's security team had a good reason to shoot at Clark. They shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, they're supposed to keep him alive, so maybe it was tranquilizers. But it wasn't because they killed Chloe, but maybe they could have changed I don't know.
They were shooting for his legs.
Yeah, you're right, Amerigo. You always have some good insight. We're going to go to Maddie. Maddie.
Hi guys, this is Maddie from Pennsylvania. So between episodes involving these different personality switches between characters, Freaks of the Week, flashback episodes, or ones like this where it's much more character focused, similar to the episode Splinter in season 5, which types of storylines did you find to be the best to actually make or allow for the most creativity in playing and acting it out on set? All right, love the podcast. Thanks. Bye.
I mean, it's like a broken record. I keep saying transference, but that was switching bodies with another character. I think some of the stuff in Red was fun to do. I think in our next episode, Crimson, you'll see some of that.
Yeah, it's always character stuff. It's always like backstory. That's what we gravitate towards. We like when there's backstory, things that are helping our characters move forward and understand why they're doing what they're doing.
The other thing, Bryce, I don't know if you caught this, but I think I was in every single scene of this episode.
You were. Jesus.
Every single
You
scene.
were.
Yeah.
You were. There's Brianna.
This is Brianna from Texas. I just want to say that I really enjoyed this episode, and I love how Clark had to find a way to save himself without his superpowers. Tommy did a phenomenal job acting the hell out of this episode, and so did everybody else. So kudos to all of you. Love y'all. Thank you so much for doing this. Bye.
She liked it so much she was cursing. No, I'm just kidding.
Hi, this is Natalie from Michigan. Just wondering if you guys noticed the background noise throughout the episode, which has been revealed at the end to be the dog barking in the barn. Just wondering how quick you guys picked up on what was going on there.
I think I might have noticed it, but now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wow, so it was like Shelby trying to help him come back.
I noticed there was a noise, like something consistent back there, but I didn't know that I didn't put it together that it was Shelby. That's cool.
Yeah, I didn't get it till Clark said it, but it also made me think: did this whole thing happen in an instant?
Yeah,
in Clark's world.
Yeah,
like 5 minutes or so.
Yeah.
That
Like
gets so
Chloe
cool. It makes me want to like go back and watch it to hear like if you can hear that throughout the whole thing.
Hey guys, this is Melanie from Maryland. So I have spina bifida, I'm paralyzed, and I use a wheelchair part-time. So I just don't understand why in the name of mobility couldn't billionaire Lex Luthor get a better wheelchair? Or why couldn't he just get prosthetic legs and some physical therapy so he could still walk? I mean, I know it's just a dream sequence, but...
Melanie, you're absolutely right. Wow, that is really brilliant because he looks like he has a wheelchair out of 1950. Like you think he'd have an electric wheelchair, and he can move around. But the legs thing, I think it was more of a shock value. It was a dream, remember? So this wasn't a reality. So they wanted the shock value of just seeing Lex without legs, and this is what he did. It was more impactful, I think, to see that. But you're right.
I also saw in your performance a less motivated Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
That maybe this is who I am.
He's kind of given
now.
up in a lot of ways.
Given up, yeah.
Matt has another question about Lex's lack of legs, I guess.
Lex's legs?
Lex's legs.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Matt, calling in from the state of Washington. Now, Michael, during Clark Fusion, when we see your character on screen, we see that Lex had lost both of his legs. Can you explain to us how the effects of that work? Thanks.
Yeah, I don't remember other than I think they green screened my legs, and that's how they were able to do it. I don't, unless there was, because I wouldn't have sat on my legs because you would have noticed it. And maybe I did. Maybe I sat like a certain way. I don't think I did though. I thought they green screened my legs. I don't remember. I'd have to ask somebody else.
Well, you did a good job of, man, what's that Things to Do in Denver When You're Dead, where Christopher Walken, did you ever hear this story? And he's a quadriplegic and he's not supposed to move. He's in a wheelchair. And actually, Andy Garcia told me this story on the golf course. And they start shooting Christopher Walken, and he's moving his head, like this, and his shoulders, and he's doing this. And after the first take, the director goes in and goes, Chris, your character is, he can't move. And apparently, Andy Garcia told me Chris goes like this. I can move a little bit.
I could move a little.
Move
a little bit. That's amazing. Chris has a question for you.
Hi,
You said to turn the heat up.
Newcastle, Indiana. My favorite
Freezing.
episode is season 6, episode 12, Labyrinth. And I just wanted to know, Clark, how was it doing an episode that was kind of different, where everybody was doubting you and you were kind of almost doubting yourself and kind of out of your own mind in a sense? I love you guys. Hope to be
Love
in
you too, buddy.
Cruiseville this
Thanks,
summer.
Chris.
Bye.
I remember using the fact that I was working with a lot of actors I'd never worked with before or seen before, characters. And just keeping that idea of like, this can't be right. I need to figure it out, but this can't be right. But I know that you had a really excellent episode in the Straight Jacket. And when they put you in that thing, there's no better costume for performance than being in a Straight Jacket.
It's hard.
It overwhelms you and it allows you to really go there. And I remember that taking a long time.
I was claustrophobic. I didn't like it.
Yeah, it's not fun.
I didn't like it. And they had me in that thing a lot.
Hey, this is Aaron from Tifton, Georgia. I'm calling about season 6, episode 12, Labyrinth. So an Easter egg for this episode is that it's the only episode in the entire series where Clark wears a baseball cap, and he does it for a disguise. I live in a farming community, and pretty much every farm boy I know is always wearing a baseball cap. So I wonder, is there a wardrobe reason why they never had Clark wear one, other than to rub it in Lex's face that he has really good hair?
I think that it's just it's a TV show, so you want to see the whole person, their hair, their face, it's a distraction if he always wears a baseball cap. It's not very
I agree
super.
with that. They're paying for the whole thing. But when I did a movie called Cheaper by the Dozen, I was like, this kid going to high school would be wearing a baseball cap, and it wasn't a big deal, but they put it in the movie. And then he didn't really wear it the rest of the film. But it's a wardrobe / makeup consideration.
Yeah, maybe it's like the Yankees don't want facial hair on their players, and if you're on the CW, you can't wear a hat.
Yeah, but also it's not very. Even though he's not Superman, Clark is a potential superhero in the making. So it's like you don't want to see him in a baseball cap all the time. You want to see this leading man leading, this kid, and he's not like every other kid in high school wears a baseball cap. He's like, more genuine. Not that wearing a baseball cap
feel
makes
insulted
you
right now.
No. I wear baseball caps.
Well, it also brings up a good point. As you walk through Smallville, you don't, unless you're at a baseball game, you don't see a lot of other kids wearing baseball caps either.
But as we know, that was a big deal for Jonathan. Baseball, don't forget.
Oh, yeah.
Baseball.
Jonathan Kent loved baseball.
Loved baseball.
Yeah, we never heard him talk about it once.
Just would not shut up about it.
Loved it. Rose and bomb rating for this one. Gosh, I'm going to go first. I'd give this 2.5.
Whoa.
I just thought it was a great episode. The ending was a little bit corny, but up till then, I was like, it was riveting. I just loved it. I loved it, and I wasn't even barely in it.
That's true. Wow.
I thought it was a great episode. Ryan, don't just piggyback on me. What do you think?
2. I would not go. I'm not insane. I'm not going to go 2.5, but yeah, it was 2. It was exciting.
2.5 for sure.
Bryce.
I don't know. It's between 2.5 and 3. Like this was.
Wow.
Whoa.
I mean, this episode was awesome.
How does no one talk about Labyrinth?
What is it? I want to see what it's rated on, because usually the IMDb ratings on these episodes are pretty indicative of how well we're going to like them. It's pretty high, but Crimson is for some reason higher.
Oh God, that episode sucked. Didn't suck.
That's just because it's like lowest and Clark.
Talkville is brought to you by Mint Mobile. Tom, do you say data or data?
Well, in my house, I say data.
Oh, Well, for the longest time, I thought paying a fortune on my monthly data plan was just normal. That was until I found out about Mint Mobile and their premium wireless plans that start at just $15 a month. I've never heard anything like this. It's pretty incredible, $15 a month. So I don't know what to say except bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. And Mint Mobile's wireless as a provider is so much better than my old provider. It's night and day. All plans come with high-speed data or data, your choice, and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network.
Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts.
Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of premium wireless service from Mint Mobile for $15 a month. It's incredible. No matter how you say it, don't overpay for it. Shop data plans at mintmobile.com/talkville. That's mintmobile.com/talkville. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month, 5-gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com for details. We're with Mr. Al.
How are you?
Good. You're here with Tom, Ryan, Bryce, and myself, and we're watching the episode Labyrinth. We watched it, and we all loved it. Why doesn't anybody talk about Labyrinth?
What? Michael, this is where I get what remind me again what Labyrinth.
It's the one where Tom's lost in the Phantom Zone dream.
It's
and
like the cuckoo's nest.
Yes.
Like once in the cuckoo's nest.
It looks, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, and it just felt like a movie for most of it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah, that is a great one. I'll be honest with you, I've forgotten about that one.
Yeah,
So,
that's what amazes me is no one talks about Labyrinth.
yeah. Wow.
I thought Tom's performance was amazing. It's when Lex is in a wheelchair. He has no legs in that dream.
What did you think, Al, about my performance?
It's so funny. I'm now going like, oh, right, Labyrinth. I'll be honest, I had forgotten about it.
You need to watch that again because...
Well, tell him real quick. Clark gets knocked out in the barn.
Clark gets knocked out on the barn.
He wakes up in a mental institution. John Jones appears, says, you got to get yourself out of this.
John Jones is there, Martian Manhunter.
Oh, right. Martian Manhunter. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yes, that was good.
I love that usually you're like, yeah, it was great. I don't fucking remember it.
By the way, Al, real quick, how did you cast him as Martian Manhunter? Do you remember? Because that's an interesting selection.
He was great.
Worked out wonderfully.
Philip Morris.
Yeah.
We loved it. We'd actually seen him for something else and really liked him and kind of kept him in mind. And when he came in, because, Martian Manhunter has that kind of, there's something detached about him, but he's also incredibly, and I don't know, we just loved Philip and thought he did a great job.
Trivia question. He was, or I'm just going to give you some little insight. Philip Morris, I believe, was on Seinfeld.
Yeah, he was. He was the attorney.
He was.
Yeah. So I remember talking to him about that, but I emailed him, so he's going to come on the podcast. So we'll have him on there. How's everything going? We're about, next episode, we're going to talk about Crimson. And I didn't like that one as much. The episode Crimson where,
Clark turns into a jerk.
Lois Lane gets that lipstick and now she's in love with Clark. And
yeah, it was another, I think it was probably, I'm like, where's this fall in the season? I was like, oh, episode 13. I was like, it's probably like, yeah, can we do a Red Kryptonite episode?
Yeah, right.
So,
that's hilarious.
Yes.
But that one was aggressive. But what else is in store for us this season, if you could remember in season 6 that because I don't know what happens. So I'm just like, do you remember what happens at the end of season 6? Is it going to get pretty good here?
I think it does get good. The thing I remember, one of the episodes, which I think is later in the season, is the black and white episode, Noir. Which I remember being very good. And then I'm trying to. And then does Lex No, he doesn't kill Lionel this season. I think that's season 7, isn't it? Yeah, that's season 7.
Oh, you know what? My episode's coming up where with the blind kid, and I have a lot to talk about that one. But I remember afterwards, you and Miles called me and you really liked it, and then you go, "So you want to direct more?" And I go, "No."
you were out.
It was like too much work. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be in every episode and then I don't know how Tom was doing it. I was like, yeah, I'm good. I can do it. It was fun. Thank you.
It was bad enough you actually had to read an entire script.
Yeah, I had to read a script. I had to. And by the way, Al, I went nuts on that. Like, I had that thing blocked out, the entire script, pretty much storyboarded. Like, I knew exactly what I was really excited. Once my mind goes into that place. But it was funny because I was thinking about bailing right early on right when I had committed to it. And I remember thinking, it's too much work. Maybe I'll do it next year. And then Steve Wardrobe was in my trailer. And I was like, yeah, I'm thinking about directing. He's like, everybody knows you're going to bail. And I go, what? And he goes, yeah, come on. It's like, it's more work for you. You don't want to do that. And I'm like, and I remember looking at him and going in my head going, you know what? F you. I am going to do this now. They don't think I'm going to do it. I'm going to fucking prove them. And I ended up doing it. I'm glad I did it because then I just started, directing and stuff and doing more. And sometimes you just have to take that risk and say, hey, I've got all the tools here in front of me. It's like, hey, let's do it. So I really enjoyed it.
I didn't watch the show after we left. So, which is advice we've gotten that I'm glad I took, just because, I'm happy the show continued, but it wasn't our thing. So it's easier to just
it's like people are like, you didn't. Yeah, people always say you didn't watch it when I wasn't on it.
No,
it's not. Yeah, no. You're so attached to something, and then you're not in it anymore. It's like it's different. It's not a matter of not liking.
Well, you did your part.
I did my part, and it's just like I'm a part of this, and now I'm not a part of it. Yeah. So it was a little weird thing.
No, we felt the same way. We felt like we trained Todd and Darren and Kelly and Brian, and they knew the show inside and out, and now they could take it in a and again, television is kind of this A, it's a team sport, and B, you have to know when to leave the field if you're lucky enough to have a show that goes that long. And, C, they could bring new ideas to the table and guess what? It went for 3 more seasons. And people enjoyed this.
Did Peter,
so we're very grateful for it.
Was Peter pretty pissed when you left? Because I left.
No,
you guys left. Kristen left. Glover was gone.
No, I'll maybe I've told you this story. It was, because in season 7 we had the writer's strike, remember, for 100 days.
Mm-hmm.
And so by the time the season was over, we went and sat with Peter, and we started talking about the season, season 8 and stuff. And he said, the CW wants to cut the budget, which is always inevitably the case in a long running show when you have actors at high salaries, and you got to keep the cost down because the show wasn't as big a hit as it was in the early seasons, right? Seasons, 1 to 5 were probably the biggest, actually. We had a resurgence in 5, and so we sort of made the decision. We said, well, look, we have people who can do it. If we stepped away, that would be a substantial savings. And then when we went, Ken Horton left because his deal with us was, if you guys are here, I'm here. If you're not, I'm not. So he left. So suddenly, that freed up, a lot of money. And then we kind of talked to, Vancouver about, building. I think that's after. I think it's season 8 is when they built like the Metropolis Street. It had to become more set down. And again, this is just the nature of a long.
It wasn't your vision anymore. Like you didn't want to go down that road.
It was like we had done everything we wanted to do, and our sort of feeling was, if we're not going to end it, then no, we don't want to keep. We just didn't want to keep going and making
widgets. Yeah.
Well, the flip side of that is when we were up there and we had heard that you guys left and people were like, "Uh-oh, maybe the show's ending." And then I remember one of the grips was like, they're building 2 more studios within walking distance of here for this show. I don't think they're planning on it going away.
No, we tried to set it up to basically run on a reduced budget is really what it was, So and again, it's television is a team sport. There were a lot of people that have been there for 6, 7
years.
So they knew the show and they're and they knew how to do it. So at a certain point, again, if you're
pass the torch.
It's a business of baseball.
It's funny because I've told this story, but like Peter, not demanded, but I want to have dinner with Michael Rosenbaum. And I was like, and we had some history, as you know. And he calls me in there. We have this steak dinner somewhere. I don't even remember what it was. And I already decided I'm not coming back. There's nothing, it's not about anything. It's not about money. It's not, I just, it's done. My commitment is over. Has been fulfilled. And we have dinner. And he's like, you don't want it. You're not leaving. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, what are you going to do? You're going to end up like Julianne Margulies. And I'm like, she's awesome. And she has hundreds of millions of dollars. And of course, look what happened. She ended up being on another big show. And I was like, I just remember looking at it. I go, my grandma thinks I'm kind of funny. I just want to do some comedy. I want to do some of my own stuff, maybe direct. And just, I did 7 years. And he's like, we got to have you. We got to make this work. I'm going to make it work. And I go, okay. And I was really nice. And the next day I get a call from my lawyer and saying, hey, they made you an offer for the next 3 years. And I go, wow. Okay. All right. What is it? He goes, are you ready? I go, yeah. He goes, no bonus, the same. And I go, wait. They're not offering me anything else. They're just saying, hey, just continue I swear to God, may I drop dead. That was the offer. And I just said, I know you're not going to tell him this, but please tell him, from my heart, please fuck off. And my lawyer never, of course, told him that. And that was the end of that. And so, but I was like, God, the balls of you. Like, you think that if you want somebody so bad, you to go on an offer, you can't refuse. Come back or something. I was like, oh my God, if this isn't another fucking stab in the back. But anyway, all right, we love you. And
Michael, it worked out for all of us. We're all fine.
Yes, we're all fine. And I'm glad I did. I love the show, and it was just, it's what it was. But look, we love you, and we're gonna call you a lot because we know you're not gonna be around after season 7. Death and save count. How many people got saved? How many died? 0 dead. Not really, Chloe. 1 saved. John Jones saves Clark through 12 episodes. 19 dead. 25 saved. 196 dead. 215 saved. Ryan's favorite scene.
Okay. Scene 1. Clark and a legless Lex.
Mm-hmm.
Scene 2. Chloe gets shot. Scene 3, Clark escapes from the parasite.
Man, those are all good. Yeah, I'm going to go 1. Tom goes with the legless Lex as well.
Yeah.
Really? That was your favorite?
It was. Yeah.
What did you like about it? The intensity?
Yeah, I mean, I like the way you guys are acting now.
What do you mean?
I like it. No, because like there's no like friendship anymore.
Oh,
like,
you mean the characters?
I mean the characters.
Okay, your acting is much better.
Well, there is that.
Son of a.
Are you guys not seeing it too? Like how are you guys not like proud of yourselves like in the past? Because I am. I'm proud of you now.
Look,
like I'm seeing like how you guys have progressed.
You grow.
This episode.
You hope as an actor you grow, and you only continue to grow, and that's
so
true.
I think we know what we're going to do at the end of this podcast. We'll go from season 10 to season 1, so we'll see the acting regress, Benjamin Button style.
Jesus. All right, that's it for the episode. Stick around next week as we take another hit of Red K and talk about season 6, episode 13, Crimson. Thanks, Al Gough, for being here. Let's take the discussion online. Let us know your thoughts on the episode over on our socials at Talkville Podcast or Talkville Pod. Patreon.com/Talkville. Join, become a member, give back to the show if you want us to continue on. And If you want more information like the merch from the show or hotline, it's talkvillepodcast.com or the Inside You Online podcast, Inside You Online. Also, while we're at it, please listen to Inside of You with Michael Rosenbaum. Please subscribe and help our show out. This show has a ton of patrons. Let's bring some of them over my way to Inside of You. I love you very much. Remember, folks, Tom, good to see you. Ryan, Bryce.
Thanks for having me.
Remember, folks, always hold on to Smallville.
And of course, we can't do this without our wonderful supportive patrons. So here we go. Leanne P, Raj C, Santiago M, Little Lisa, ThomasTomTurner, we just saw you. Shane W, BetsyD, Abhi P, Fatima T, KarenApple M, 99 more, Leilani N, Stu G. Always hold on to Smallville. Remember, folks. Charlie T, Garrett W, Bob K, Tom N, Jason W, Lana rhymes with banana, Nancy D, and Brian G.
All right. And also Leilani, if you didn't hear that, or Stu G, or 99 more, because you broke up. And I don't know if you broke up too much. Grape Jelly, 817, Amanda R, Teddy 127, Michael P, Riot R, Randy B, Craig G, Jor L, Heather and Greg, Rather I Made Talkville Say Butts, Brian H, Eric K, Clarks M, Kristen B, Finky Early is on time. Damn, who's that? Jeanette E, General Zod, Theodore Jam and J, Doug R, Carlos C, Kendall Limerick Guy, Corey L, Mr. Home Arcade, Claire M, D Brown, Karen Area M, Jules M, Eldon Supremo, Brian P, McBurts, Ginger Moose, Christoph S, I'm a Dr. Jim, not a superhero, Lee W, Amanda Lynn, Michael B, Sebastian F, Wolfie, Matthew and Lincoln B, Marion Louise L, C, Geo, Shannon Fofanin, Brian S, Tina E, Matt Maverick, Jen T, Randy S, and Cassie B.
And we also can't do this without Brad A, Felicia R, Danny Mo Mirabel, Mary K, Sophie L, Danger D, Steve N, Nate Danger. When you're rich, you aren't crazy. Eccentric.
Rachel D.
Rosenbaum fan, huh?
No, go ahead.
Rosenbaum fan, Sammy Sharman. Carrie Ann, the Alexander Castle, Daryl E, Jenny B76, Monica T, Ms. M, Emily Woodlocked. Sorry to hear
Who
that.
locked? Emily Who locked?
Jeffrey K. Katja C, previously on Smallville, Keith B, Cookie Kareem, Libertariat, Danny Z from Cleveland, Biagio C, Lady J, and David L.
Madison H, as told by Helen, Kelowna A, Natalia, Dr. J, Pneumo, Ultra Microscopic, Lilco, Volcanicanosis. Dr. G and Dr. T, make that name shorter next time, please. That's hard to, I want to read your name, but it's hard sometimes. Krypton Knight, Brandon C, Flirtatious B, Per 6, a Luther Corp subsidiary, Kurgan K, Naman L, Smallville for life, Bobby B, Kendrick F, Chad S, Stacy L, Other Brother Daryl, Melanie P, Starla S. We have Charlie M, Cheyenne F, AJ Sisson, Heather H, Tom, and Michael's friend Mickey. Tom?
Allison C, Syrian?
Karen. I think it's Karen H or Karen.
Oh, come on. Karen H, Jill and Brett. We don't do this every week. The Real Chucky B, Hubs, Cuban Boy, ooh, nah. Laura C, Sarah C, Adam C, lots of C's. Jackie Jess, it's like my report card. John W, Jet Blazer Michael, Bradley H, Taylor C of O, Laura L,
Carolus,
Lex Kent.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
We love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting us. We couldn't do this without you. And
it's fun meeting you guys.
I love it. I love saying your names. It's a lot of names, and damn it, it's keeping the show alive. So thank you, patreon.com/talkville. We'll see you.